Hi, I'm George, TSG's Open Content Product Manager. In this short demo, I'm going to compare the contributor interfaces in Alfresco Share and Open Content Management Suite. Now, when we're talking about the contributor interface, what we mean is the interface for importing and modifying documents as well as their properties. So here I am in Share, and I'm just in an example site. And a site is kind of like a SharePoint site. You can have a dashboard, you can do wikis and calendars and discussion forums. But what we're interested in here is this document library. So if I go over to the document library, there's a traditional sort of folder hierarchy over here that I can browse down. And then if I click on a folder, the documents inside that folder appear over here on the right. Now, when we're talking about getting documents into this folder, there's a couple of options. We can use this upload button, which I can then just click this to bring up the typical file browse. There is no drag and drop here, it's just the normal file browse button. But we also have the option to just simply bring up a Windows Explorer. And I'm just going to grab these two documents and drag them over directly into on top of the file list here. And that's going to upload the documents. Now at first glance that seems really smooth because it was very quick. It just immediately started uploading the documents. But the problem is that, if you don't do anything, these just come in as the base document type with the out-of-the-box metadata. So what about the case where you want this to be a specialized doc type? And also, what about the case where that document type has metadata on it that's required? If that's the case, I have to remember to come in here, click on the edit properties, and edit my properties so that those required properties get set. Share does have an option to create rules on the folder that will specialize the type, but that doesn't handle the scenario where you have multiple types. Whoops, I'll go back here. There's also no option in Share out of the box to create a document from a template, which we'll show when we do this same thing in Open Content Management Suite. So I'm going to go in and just view this welcome template document. And I can view a preview of the document over here. There's some properties that we'll get into later. There's other options in here that you can tag the document. But what we're interested in is editing this document, and there's a few options for how we can do this. The typical sort of example is an edit offline, where I go ahead and click edit offline. And it just gives me the document here, so I'm just going to download it. And then I can just open it inside Word and make the update. So I'll just go ahead and do that quick update. So now that I'm done, I have my option to upload the new version, which I can go ahead and do that. And then I can choose here whether I want a major or minor version, which for most clients is okay. We do have some clients that require major versions to be approved content, so they wouldn't want the user to just arbitrarily make a major version. But that can be configured in Share. It's just a XML configuration. So I'll choose my working copy that I had and go ahead and upload. And you saw the message there that this might take a while to get the latest preview. Alfresco does have a couple of other options. I can also edit the document a little bit more seamlessly. Basically, if this is editing the document directly in Word using the SharePoint protocol, so this does require some extra setup in the repository. Share can also edit the document in Google Docs. I'll kind of show this online editing in OCMS just in the interest of time, since both Share and OCMS are fairly similar in that regard. One other thing I wanted to show here is the document properties. So I can view the properties along with the content, but if I'm editing the document, I can't view the content while I'm editing. So this property edit screen takes over the whole window, and I can't view the content while I'm editing these properties. Now remember, this was just an out-of-the-box document with the normal content type. So that's why I'm seeing, just a few properties here. But with a specialized type, you see a lot of properties there that you might not typically want a user to see. So just as an example here, this one is a specialized type. And I see a lot more properties here, maybe some that I might want to hide from the user. And editing this, I again see them like, I probably wouldn't want the user to see this since it really makes no sense. So now I'm going to switch over to OpenContent Management Suite. And here I'm in a policy folder, or an example policy folder in an insurance scenario. And I'm just going to go through similar steps. So we have an option here to add documents. And there's a lot of different options of how to get documents into the system. I can import from Box, from Gmail. I can even scan a document directly in. But we can also just do the same drag and drop. So I'll go ahead and just grab just this MSG. And one interesting thing here is we will smartly know that this email message has other attachments. So you can see here, Share didn't do this, but it smartly pulled off this report and financials document because they were attached to the email. Now we are going to upload that welcome template, but we're going to do it as a template. So we have the option here to say I want to create an underwriting document. The only template available is that, so I'll go ahead and add it. And there we go. So now I'm going to go to the next screen. And while Share kind of just start the upload right away, we take a few other steps to ensure that the right metadata is on the document. So this page will set properties in bulk across all the documents as part of this upload. And one thing you'll notice here is that some of this metadata was auto-populated based on the folder. So it knew that these documents have a policy number and policy year. It also knows that these are underwriting documents, so they're going to be the right type with the right metadata. And it smartly pulled off these attributes that match. So I don't have to re-key in the policy number, policy year, policy holder because they were smartly pulled off from the folder. I could also bulk set properties across all, like this tags, but I'll go ahead and set that individually per document. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit more room here and hit next. So now what this is going to do is ask me to fill out the metadata for each of these documents. Now we do have a required tag here. You can see by the red star this is required, and it's going to make the user fill this out to ensure that the document has the proper metadata during the import. So I'll just tag this as a correspondence document. And we'll just say this one as a report. And the other thing you're noticing here is that I can see the content again as I'm making the upload, so that I can refer to the contents of the document while I'm editing the metadata. So we'll just tag this one. And this welcome template, we'll say this is correspondence as well. And go ahead and finish an upload. So now it's going to take all of these documents and place them into the folder. So if we switch down here, we can see that these documents are smartly split out based on the tag that we gave it. And I'll just go ahead and view this welcome letter since it's sort of the same one that we did in the other scenario and Share. And as far as editing, we have some doc actions up above here. So we'll again just show the normal check-in, check-out, kind of the base scenario. I'll go ahead and do the checkout, which is going to allow me to download the document. And I'll just download and save it as that same document. And we'll just open it in Word, just like we did in Share. And we'll just go ahead and make that same update. So I'll save it. And now we have some options for canceling our checkout and check-in. So the check-in can do the typical choose file. We can also do a drag and drop. And we do have the options to do major and minor version as well as current version, but it's a simple GUI update to disable, say, major versioning to force users into only minor versioning documents. So we can do this with the drag and drop or that choose file button, but I'll go ahead and just do the drag and drop. And that's going to create our new minor version with the updated contents. OCMS does also have online editing. We can support both Office Online as well as Google Drive. And I wanted to show that it's not configured in this section, but I have another document here where it is configured. So let's say we want to make a change to this document. We could still do the download, edit in Word, and upload, but we also have an edit online option here that will, in this case, it's configured for Office Online. So the checkout is going to place the document in Microsoft OneDrive and then display it in Office Online. So I haven't left the browser. I can just go ahead and make my updates. Let's say I'll just add the updated here. It's going to auto save. And then I can just close my tab. And then I have an option to check in from online, which is going to pull that document from OneDrive and check it into Alfresco. There we go. There's the update. And as I mentioned, we can support both OneDrive and Office Online as well as Google Docs. So I'm going to switch back to this document, and we showed editing the contents, but I wanted to show viewing and editing the properties as well. So we always, with the properties, show the properties alongside the contents of the document. So I can make changes to this document while I'm seeing the contents. So let's say we'll also call this a service instruction and go ahead and submit. And now that update is going to make this document appear in both correspondence and service instructions. Well, that's it for this comparison video. Be sure to stay tuned to the TSG blog in the coming weeks. We'll be diving into more comparison between Share and OCMS. Thanks for watching.